Khushwant Singh's grandmother, who was a very religious woman, has done something that she has never done in her life. She has done something unbelievable. In the evening, on the day of her grandson's return from abroad, she missed her prayer. A woman who was known for praying, known for her religiosity, known for her continuous telling the beads of her rosary, has missed her prayer. That is something really very shocking. But why did she do it? She, instead of praying, she invited all the women of the neighborhood and she brought an old drum and started singing the homecoming of a warrior. For her, her grandson's coming from abroad is just return of a warrior to his home. She considers her grandson to be a warrior, a hero. This is what we found in the third video. And this is the fourth video. The present video is the fourth one, the last one, and here we will find the last part of this story, and we will find the death of the grandmother, and when she missed the prayer in the evening of the author's return, how she compensated it. This we will find here. So let us go to the next paragraph on page 6. The next morning she was taken ill. It was a mild fever and the doctors told us that it would go. But my grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray, she was not going to waste any more time talking to us. The very first sentence you see, the next morning she was taken ill. Taken ill, see this expression, taken ill. Before it there is be verb. Was taken ill. Be verb, past participle of take, be taken ill, was taken ill, or is taken ill, or am taken ill, or are taken ill, whatever, depending on the subject. Was taken ill means she fell ill, she became ill. The next morning she was taken ill. It means the next morning she fell ill, she became ill. You can write in this way, she was taken ill. It was a mild fever and the doctor told us that it would go. The fever was mild and the doctor told us it's not an issue, it's not a big thing, nothing to be worried about, it will be cured. But my grandmother thought differently. See, this woman who was very close to God, she was very religious, she could anticipate things. A person who is more concerned about God and he is more intimate with God, constantly remembers God, they take right decisions, they can handle situations better. The same is the case with this woman. Earlier when we found that when the author went abroad, at that time no one could say what may happen to this woman, she may die within 5 years. But the grandmother, she knew she would not die. Today when the doctors are saying the fever is mild, it will go, the grandmother thought differently. She knew that no, my end of life, it is the end of my life. So she told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, this is the last chapter of her life, and she is going to die, and at that particular time when she has missed prayer, out of her excitement, out of her love for her grandson, she did it. So now she said that since I have missed my prayer just a few hours before the end of my life, I should not waste any more time talking to you. I should not talk to you. I should stop talking to you. I should just remember God. I should utter His name only so that my death would occur remembering God's name only. See the faith, the sincerity. The author said, we protested because since she is saying she is going to die, and even if she is not dying, whatever it is, when she says, we will not talk to you, I am just going to make my prayer continuously, no talk with you. They did not like it. So the author said, we protested. We said, no, this cannot be. But she ignored our protests. She did not pay any heed to what we said. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. So this phrase we are getting again and again, telling the beads. You should remember this. To tell the beads, it means to utter the name of God using that rosary. That is a very common sight among religious people in every religion. People, elderly especially, they do this thing. So She lay peacefully in bed. This lay is a word very important here. Lay. She lay peacefully. When you find the word lay in this sentence, she lay peacefully. What do you think is the tense? The tense, it must be simple past tense, because if it were simple present tense, then after lay there should have been s, since the subject is she, third person singular number. So the verb would have taken s after it had it been simple present tense. So it is not simple present tense, it is simple past tense. She lay. If it is simple past tense, then this lay is the past form. What is the base form? It is lie. Lie, lay, and then lain. And again, and there is another lie. Lied. Lied. This lie is to tell something which is not true, to tell lie. Lie, he is lying. He lied. So lie, lied, lied. Again, lie, it means to be on the bed, to stretch your body on the bed and just lying. That lie, its past is lay. Past participle is lain. So here we find the word lay as the past form of lie. Firstly, one lie is there whose past and past participle are lied, lied. Another lie is there whose past is lay and past participle is lain. Yet again another lay is there. This lay is the past form of lie. Here again lay is the base form and its past is laid. Past participle is again laid. Pay attention to this, try to understand this, is very important. This is very, very important. You should know these differences. So lay, it is the base form, its past is laid, past participle is laid. Another lay is there which is the past form of lie, its past participle is lain. So lie has firstly two meanings, and accordingly one lie, its past and past participle are lied, lied. Another lie, its past is lay, past participle is lain. And although here we find the word lay, lay, as the past form of lie, we have another lay, lay, which is the base form, and its past form is laid, past participle is also laid. We will find this one also again in this paragraph. Here first we have found she lay peacefully in bed. She lay means she was just relaxing, she was lying on the bed. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. So this lay is intransitive. This lie, it is intransitive verb, it doesn't have any object. Intransitive. And this lie here, it is transitive. You will find it to be transitive. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. We saw her just lying on the bed and telling the beads of her rosary, but before we could realize it, before we could know it, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless finger. What does this mean? This means that she has already breathed her last. A peaceful pallor spread on her face. Pallor means pale color. When someone dies, the body loses its brightness, its liveliness, and you can visibly see the appearance shows that the person is no more living. So this is pallor, it means pale color. The paleness was visible on her face. This is what the author means when he says a peaceful pallor spread on her face. There was paleness on her face, but there was peace in it. A peaceful pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she was dead. We lifted her off the bed, and as is customary, laid her on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. Yes, what happens to dead people is that when someone dies, he will shift the dead body from that place. There may be some kind of bathing also, or putting on new cloth and coffin and taking the body to a different place. We lifted her off the bed. We took her from the bed, and as is customary, it means as is the rule, according to the religious rule, according to ritual, what we did is that we laid her on the ground. This laid, this is the this lay, its past is laid. We laid her on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. Shroud means a piece of cloth with which you cover someone, a piece of cloth or polythene or anything, something with which you cover something. And covered her with a red shroud. With a cover, we covered her body. After a few hours of mourning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. Two words are important. One is mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. This morning is not that good morning, it is M-O-U-R-N, mourn. What does this mourn mean? Mourn means to lament, to express sadness, to cry. When someone dies, when there is any kind of sadness, there is tragedy, you cry, you express your sadness. That is called mourn. That is its noun is mourning. After a few hours of mourning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. Funeral means the last activities that living people do to the dead body. When someone dies, all his relatives and the living people, they organize, they make some arrangements according to their religion. That is called funeral, the last religious rites. So after a few hours of mourning, we mourned, we made prayers, we cried, and then we left her alone and we went to make arrangements for her funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher. Stretcher, you know, stretcher is a tool on which in the hospital you also see stretcher. Stretcher is like a mobile cot on which the dead body or the sick person are made to lie, and then he is taken, he is moved. So stretcher, crude stretcher means it is a crude, C-R-U-I-D, crude means it is not refined, it is not well made, it is just a temporary one. We went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her to be cremated. Cremated means to make the last religious things done to her. Cremation, the last religious rites. So we went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her for cremation. The sun was setting and had lit her room. Yes, lit is another very important word. Lit again is the past. The sun was setting and had lit. And had lit, who had lit? The sun had lit. The sun was setting and had lit. Lit here is past participle. It is in past perfect tense. So lit is past participle. What is the past form and past participle of lit? Past base form is light. Its past is lit. Past participle is also lit. You can also say lighted. This lit may also be called lighted. Light is the base form and its past is lit. Past participle is lit. And past participle may also be used as lighted. Light, lit, lit, or light, lighted, lighted. Here lit is used. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. When the sun sets at that time, the color of sunlight, the sun rays become different. It becomes reddish. The same is the case at the time of setting of the sun. The sun had lit her room. It has lighted her room. It has made her room very beautiful with golden light. We stopped halfway in the courtyard as they were carrying the dead body on the crude stretcher. On the halfway in the courtyard, they stopped all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff, wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. When they stopped while they were taking the dead body, at that time they saw that everywhere, in the veranda, in the courtyard, and up to the place where she died, where she lay dead and stiff. Stiff means when you cannot move your organs of the body, when you cannot move, you become stiff. It means tight. So she lay dead, and a red shroud was placed on her body. In that particular place, from that particular place up to the veranda, even in the courtyard, everywhere, the author said they saw thousands of sparrows sat scattered. All the sparrows, the woman loved animals, she loved sparrows, she used to feed them. These sparrows have realized that our friend has died. They are mourning, they are crying, they are sad. Thousands of sparrows have come and they are sitting here and there across the whole compound. There was no chirruping. Usually the birds, the sparrows, they chirrup, but this time they did not make any sound. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. We also felt sorry. These birds, they also have felt the absence of my grandmother. They also have realized that she is dead. They also are crying. They are also sad. This made us sad also. And my mother brought some pieces of bread. She brought some pieces of bread for them. She broke it into little crumbs. She broke the bread into little pieces, the way my grandmother used to, and threw it to them. The author's mother now, she divided the breads into pieces, and the way the grandmother of the author used to throw those pieces for the birds, his mother now did it. The sparrows took no notice of the bread. That is the day of the death of their friend. And the woman who used to feed them, that woman is no more. The sparrows are so sad that they even did not look at the pieces of bread that the author's mother threw for them. When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. Then the corpse, C-O-R-P-S-E, corpse, C-O-R-P-S-E, corpse means dead body. When the dead body of the grandmother was taken away, then what happened is that the corpse also, the sparrows also flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. All the pieces of bread that the author's mother threw to the birds, they did not eat, they did not even look at them, they were just lying scattered on the ground. Next morning, the sweeper swept away those things. This is how the author ends the story, and what we learn from it is that many things we have learned. One is that if you love someone, if you do a thing sincerely, it will be recorded. You may not get some return for it in the materialistic sense, but see, the grandmother, she was very sincere in her love and care for the grandson, and the grandson has recorded this thing, and we people across the world, many people are learning about the author's grandmother. The author's grandmother was not a highly educated woman. She was a very traditional and ordinary woman, but because of her love and care for the author, even now we know her. She is celebrated, she is discussed, she is respected. It is all because she loved and took care of the grandson, and the grandson realized it. When you do a thing sincerely, it has its impact on some other human minds. Secondly, you see that our responsibility. When people love and care, then when you grow up, it becomes your duty to discuss about them, to talk about them, to send their message. The author is sending the message of love and care, the message of friendliness that his grandmother had. He is spreading this to the world through his writing. And see how animals also realize human feelings, how they have done it. So this story is a message for all of us to love and to take care of others, to be humble, to be close to God, to do our things very sincerely, and not to give up our principles. This is what we learn among many other things. I am sure this story will help you, it will continue guiding you throughout your life. I am sure you have loved it, and read it more and more. Enjoy the linguistic beauty of the author has used, and enjoy the message and learn from the message that the author and his grandmother has brought to us. With this hope, we are ending this video. This is the end of this story. Thank you very much for being with me.